freezing arrow, cold arrow, they synergize really well with the decrep that she does. On top of her having cure, on top of me having the prayer aura, on top of me also having redemption aura always active. So it's like just a super tanky character. Today we have a new Paladin build. Usually I try to make something to do as much damage as I possibly can, but today I wanted to make something that essentially just feels invincible. It's not really invincible, you know, you gotta be a little bit sensational with YouTube. But at the end of the day, it does enough damage and it doesn't take enough damage. We got maxed out prayer aura. We got 1 point in resist lightning, cold, and fire. None of the offensive auras. We got maxed out holy shield. It doesn't have to be maxed out to get max block rate, but you keep getting more defense out of it, so it's good for that. Enemies can just literally miss your character altogether, and the higher that your character level is, the more that you'll benefit from the high defense. So it's nice, you know, defensive character. Then we put 20 points in sacrifice to get as much damage as we could out of Zeal with the remaining points we had, and then 16 into Zeal just to get some attack rating and some more damage out of it. But you get more damage per point out of sacrifice for Zeal, so we put that right there. In terms of the stats on the character screen, 320 vitality, pumped a decent amount of dexterity just because I want to have some chance to hit enemies because I'm not using fanaticism aura or anything. Decent strength, and I also don't have conviction aura, so it's not dumping down the enemies. It's not dumping down the enemy's defenses a whole ton either. So having some attack rating is definitely beneficial for this. That's where grief is also probably better than Breath of the Dying, because you're literally going to be having ignore target's defense, except not for these guys and not for the elites, but for all the trash mobs. But I mean, our chance to hit the trash mobs is 91% out of 95, which is the best case scenario. So I mean, I think we did pretty good with the dexterity that we pumped into the character. Definitely let me know what you think. You know, I wouldn't really farm chaos with this character simply because we're a running character. I would do world stone with this character, but I mean, if you're just playing your character for fun and you're not really playing for efficiency farming, you're probably not efficiency farming with the melee character in the first place. Time to see if death can save you from me. Okay, so, you know, a little bit more dexterity pumped maybe would have helped a little bit, but not too bad. Not bad at all. I mean, considering we're a defensively focused character, you know, we would definitely benefit from putting gore riders, something like that on. I'm not even really so concerned about this type of area. I'm more so wondering about what the boss battle is going to be like. This is where I like having the sandstorm tracks on, and also having my cold damage covered, my cold res, because of all these. The cure will get the poison damage off of me pretty well, but also having my poison damage covered and having my cold, really just having all your reses covered. And then the cure also is really good for getting that decrep off of you right there from Baal. You might have to heal her from these. That's really the only weakness of this build. You might occasionally have to hit a potion for her. Rarely. Usually the prayer aura is more than enough, and the radius on it is really far as well. Like right here, I can get closer to her and watch how fast the decrep goes away. I don't know why she just desynced, but that's fine. Now she's safer. She's not going to get... That cure doesn't have a very high level aura, so I got to stay close to her in order to get the decrep off myself, though. Time for the moment of truth. He would summon like that right now. I could maybe even get a faster you know, if I had Gore Riders on or G-Face or something, if I threw that on just for the boss, just for Baal, just for Diablo, it would definitely speed it up. But I think overall, you know, if you're playing this type of character, you're not so massively concerned with your boss clear time. And you know, if you want max DPS, there's definitely plenty of versions of max DPS, you know, Fanaticism Aura, or going with Dual Dream, or going with Dragon, Dual Dragon and Hand of Justice, you know. But as far as, you know, just a really tough, survivable character, I feel like this is just a pretty cool way to go. I showed my skill trees and everything, but I forgot to show my gear. Breath of the Dying, Laying of Hands, Raven Frost, Nosferatu's Coil, Dual Leech Ring with some cold res on it, Sandstorm Trek, Phoenix, High Lords, Principal, Andes. The jewel in it is IAS, and then it's got like some damage to undead on it. On swap, Call to Arms and Spirit. And then as far as the charms, just a bunch of resistances and stuff, because my Phoenix has enhanced damage and attack rating on it. Then as far as the Mercenary, Wrath, Fortitude, and then Cure. The Cure, because the Cleansing Aura is only level 1, you gotta stand close to her. Sometimes that can kind of suck because we're not teleporting, but the Principle with it synergizing with the maxed out Fist of Heavens, we're shooting out level 5 Holy Bolts. They're only level 5, but they've got a high level synergy to them. Because if you look at this right here, Holy Bolts, you get 50% magic damage per level, and we got 29 or 20 levels. I think only the 20 that we put in synergizes that. But we're doing like a couple hundred magic damage each Holy Bolt that comes out. So when we zeal and we hit 5 times real fast, we're sending some decent damage, especially against those enemies that are physical immune. And that's going to stack really well with her shooting them with cold damage. And then she's also going to be decrepping them sometimes. Sometimes she's going to be casting Life Tap on them, which just makes us even more tanky with our prayer aura and everything else going on. You could also do this build with Grief. You know, you could have G-Face instead of Andes. You know, you could do like Crown of Ages or something. I don't have one around. You could also do like Griswold's Helm with IAS Jewel in it, or what, you know, you could do something like a Visionary mod helmet and make your, like, look at my attack rating when I throw this on. So it's like there's so many different ways that you can build a character. You know, I feel like they kind of have certain things that are like staples. Like I could throw on War Travs and get a little bit more damage and add some magic find, you know, and I could sacrifice some of my poison res. Or I could take this ring off and say, hey, screw cold res. I don't even care about that. Let me, you know, put something on right there to cover my poison res. I could throw Carrion Wind Ring on. So, I mean, there's so many different options with the way that I could go about having this character. I could throw a Wisp Projector on and just like basically be healed anytime that I get hit with lightning damage. You know, I could have even gone with fortitude and had even higher lightning res. You know, I think we might actually benefit from having gore riders on. Maybe to cover our poison res, we'll throw a carrion wind ring on, and we'll also get the cool little twisters as a bonus. You know, the life steal doesn't hurt either. Damage taken goes to mana, so when enemies hit us, we gain a little bit of mana as well. Defense versus missile. Poison Nova when struck. You know, just more fireworks going on, essentially. Let's see what it looks like. See, there's the little twisters. So, I mean, we don't have maxed out cold res now. But, I mean, are we really going to die to wave 2 on Baal? Just standing there letting the skeletons kill us? Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and hopefully I catch you again on the next one. Take it easy.